What's up, Cougar Country? Welcome to podcast number 6. We are back again. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Before we get into everything, QR code right here. It all goes back into the program. How you doing, Coach?
Great. How about yourself?
Not too bad. We're on podcast 6. You know, who knew we'd be at podcast 6 right now?
It's awesome.
And we're just coming off of a college showcase. It was a grouped practice with everyone together.
Joint practice. Yep.
And how do you think the turnout was?
It was awesome. Yeah, we had colleges everywhere from the Pac-12 to Mountain West to Big Sky to colleges from South Dakota and places you're like, where was that? To the JCs around town. So, yeah, it was good. You know, glad we did it. Glad we stuck with it. I think we're going to keep this thing going, and every year it's going to grow. You know, for most the college coaches were saying that you keep this going every year, and you know the turnout's just going to get bigger, and better. So great for our young men to come out there and practice together. Naturally gets exposure because you know we're in a time in the recruiting period in which college coaches are allowed during those times to have evaluation periods, and you know that usually occurs in the month of May, and that's why it was important for us to get this done in that month. So I was pumped up. I think our kids did a great job. Got a good look at some competition, and yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for season now.
You have a background in college coaching. What do you think that they were looking at the most? All the recruits out there.
They just it's not overcomplicated. Watch them move in space. I think we did a good job of breaking the drills down so they could see them move a lot, move in space, see them bend. And then you always just get after it, and you put a ball in the air, and you put someone's hand in the dirt, and you put someone in front of them, and you just see them compete. So, not complicated at all. You just want to see those. You know, a lot of people overanalyze how technical a college coach has their full faith in their ability to coach technique. You know, but I think what they're looking for is the stuff you can't coach, and that's athleticism and competitiveness, and just the dynamic ability for them to make plays.
Yeah, and this was the first year we've ever had something like this in CUSD, and it went really well. You know, a lot better than most people probably thought. And what are you trying to do to grow that, to create more exposure for kids to be able to get seen now, later on down the road once more colleges get notice of this?
Yeah, I mean the main thing is that you don't overload those coaches with just volume. You just keep it consistent every year. You give them the ability to really just know that it's going to be there. If a college coach knows, hey, every second Monday of the month of May, we need to be down in Clovis because we're gonna see, those guys practice together, and we're gonna get them all there. And it's just easy. It's easy for a college coach. It's one stop place. He gets all the evaluations done he can, and glad we could structure it that way. I think it'll grow. I think everybody will be on board, and the more the better. And obviously, as anything, the better the players of that year, more than likely the more coaches will show up. But I also don't think it's just about a quote-unquote D1 thing. It's about getting Division II, Division III, JCs, NAIAs, everyone out there at the same time.
I totally agree. I think it's going to be a great turnout for players. Definitely in the future, the more it'll be built up, more that coaches will get to hear about it, and then also the more trust that other schools will have in it as well, to have a really nice joint practice where they're doing bag work and working through drills, and over time I think it'll definitely create an awesome situation. I think it'll be really cool. And then today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. Friday is our farmers market day.
Yep.
We're 2 farmers markets in now.
Yeah, we've been 3. This will be our third.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be our third. So, farmers market, come out in Old Town. We got a booth set up right there on I believe it's Pulaski and 4th, and we've been out there. We're going to have the COUGAR out there with us this week, and just come out, support, see the kids. We were dancing with the community last week. It was fantastic. Just feel free to stop by. We've got jerseys and helmets we'll throw on and take pictures if you want pictures with the COUGAR. come on. And, like I said, we wanted to be visible in the community as much as possible, and I think we've been held true to that. We've been in Old Town more often than not, right? Been a bunch of you've seen us a bunch of places if you've been in Old Town. So come out, support, absolutely.
What was your first impressions 2 weeks, or it'll be 3 weeks ago now? The first night that you were out there, there was a lot of stuff going on. We even saw some track athletes that were D1, Air Force, and I think Colorado State was out there walking through. But
yeah, I was trying to recruit them.
Well, what did you think about it? Like the first night actually seeing Farmers Market. Now you're a seasoned vet, but the first night, what were you expecting, and what did you see?
Yeah, it was just huge. There's so many people. Holy smokes, it was amazing. It was an amazing event. I mean, they were line dancing because we were at like the Mecca, right? Somebody told us we got the prime spot. So shout out to Old Town and Heather for getting us the best spot there. And so they put us on this in this area where there was a band and they were playing country music and everybody was line dancing, and it was just awesome. Shoot, I don't know, what do you think, a couple thousand people?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, just
yeah.
walking through and seeing the kids, and shoot, it was awesome. And then there was people from, whether it be Clovis, Clovis West, Buchanan, and everybody was great. Everybody was respectful. And that's what I appreciate about Clovis, is people can put their egos aside and just say, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll take a picture here." It's awesome.
Yeah, we don't want to sell out, but we had some Buchanan people put on the Clovis High helmet.
Some Buchanan.
We won't say any names, but they did put on the Clovis High helmet. But yeah, if you haven't gone to the farmers market, it's like the hub central is where they play all the live music, and then on the one side is all the produce, and you got all vegetables and fruits that are grown here in the Central Valley. And then on the other side is more like the vendor area, and we're literally smack dab right in the middle, right in front of the band. So it's a prime area. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely come by on Old Town 4th and Pulaski. When does it start on Farmers Market?
5:30.
5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
So you're out there all night, every night. If you want to come out and donate, all of our players are walking around with the helmet, talking to everybody, taking pictures with everybody.
We have the QR code as well, so you can just scan the QR code, donate, and keep moving. That's fine. And if you see us down there and you have some PB&J and some bread, drop it off. We'll throw it in the truck and get it to Clovis High.
Definitely. We need bread. We got so much peanut butter.
We're going through 4 loaves a day.
There you go. And now how's this week going? I heard some PRs are taking place, some workouts are going. How is that?
Yeah, it's been good. We're doing our Lift-a-thon week, and what that is just a program fundraiser, and we get a max number on the kids, and half the team's PR'd. So, part of that's a manifestation of just and honestly, we haven't. I would say this: we haven't done all the work that we want to do in the weight room. So I was shocked to see that half the team has PR'd, but at the same time, I don't think they've ever worked this hard in their life. So, not shocked that they PR'd, but we got so much further we can go, and we know that. And shout out to EJ, shout out to Coach Joe, and what they've been doing with the kids, and they've been working freaking hard. And half the team PR'ing, and we had a freshman, hit a 465 squat and lose his mind, which is awesome, and then, this morning we had, it's funny when guys walk up and they say, that was my max. And it's like, well, don't let the weight intimidate you. Take it for a ride. We had another freshman, PR his bench by 50 pounds. And that's like 50 pounds is a lot. Like that's a lot on bench, for a couple months of work. So, not satisfied, but we're progressing.
What are all the lifts that you're PRing with?
Bench and squat were the main two. We're gonna hammer cleans tomorrow.
Okay. And cleans. How many reps are you guys doing with those?
I just want to take her for a ride, but there's a huge progression that we knock out of 3s, 2s, 1s, up in percentage. It's all percentage based.
How do you think the PRs are going to go with that tomorrow?
Clean's a little different animal. It just depends. I'm confident that they'll go up as usual, but cleans are a little bit different. You may have a bad technical day and not be able to hit the weight that you want. So if the technique's right, I expect the PRs to be the same, about half the team.
And PRs from everybody? Did you just see it from the whole class? Everyone's just PRing from their original numbers.
Yeah, not even close. Yeah, they're doing a good job. And if they didn't PR, there's a bug going around. So some of them have come down with something pretty nasty, or they're at home. So I know I say half the program, but it's really almost everybody in there hit a personal record in the weight room.
And explain when you guys. I think it was last week. You guys were out in the field, and Coach Joe was taking them through. Just like mobility, they were moving their hips, their legs. How much has that affected, their PRs, their mobility out in the field, catching balls or, trying to get around the corner?
Yeah, it all correlates, right? I think all the mobility that we're doing, and Coach Joe will tell you this, his main job is not to build just strength. His main job is to injury prevention, and so a lot of the mobility stuff, it comes down to injury prevention. So and again, the stiffer you are on the squat, there's a barrier for the squat, and that's 90, right? 90 degrees is what you're supposed to hit before it's called a clean lift. However, if you're not mobile, you can't get to 90. Most kids instantly bend, and that weight then is put on their back. And so for us, we monitored that real tight today, and we were very clear on the standard and the technique of lifts. The more mobile they can become, the less likely they are of becoming injured. But part of all the mobility work is a lot of these kids are hurting, right? But you have to hurt so you don't get injured. So we keep working. We're just gonna keep working. And we ran a ton. We ran a ton before this. I was shocked because we had been out running so much and been out on the field so much. But still happy.
And now we got next weekend is Hume Lake. You want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm excited about this. So this is what I went through when I was in high school. Coming up, we went every year that I was in high school, and I think it was a game changer for our program. It's where me and a lot of our teammates, we came together, and we developed bonds that lasted for a lifetime, which will be the same here at Clovis High. That's the goal. Hume Lake is a team camp. And we're going to go up and we're going to compete against other teams and throw the ball around a little bit and do a lot of activities like dodgeball, belly flop contest, team building activities, and it's just a good time. Paintball and obstacle courses and all of that. And at the end of the day, then we're going to get around a bonfire and we're really going to hash out, who we want to become as a program. And I think that's where we're at right now. I think it's perfect timing for us because we're really trying to learn who we are as a program. And I think this will be the final touches before we get into summer ball, where we know who we are, we know the base principles, and we can just go now and build the team the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, this is going to be the first year that they do it. I think it's going to be a really great experience, especially not really having too much team bonding in the past compared to like a big event from here was Friday till Sunday, I think.
Friday till Sunday.
So I mean that's a huge time gap to be able to bond. You're up there, you're messing around with each other, you're cracking jokes all weekend. You get to eat with each other, you sleep with each other, you play football with each other. I mean there's so much that goes on to it, and I think it's just like such a great community event to bond with each other. But what would you tell the parents? You kind of already said it, but kind of touch over it again, what you expect to get out of their sons and how they could change when they come back.
Yeah, I just think the main mentality that I think their sons will probably come back and just be enlightened and say, I learned a lot about my teammates, and like I got a new respect and a new perspective for people, right? Everybody the main thing for kids, they just don't know how to communicate, right? And everybody's in so many different backgrounds, and it's so hard to learn about somebody and your teammates unless you communicate with them. So the expectation is that we come back, we know each other better, they know us better as coaches, because the coaches will be there, and my assumption is they'll come back and say, wow, Mom and Dad, I'm so glad we went to that, because now I know so much more about Coach, I know so much more about my teammates, and like I got so much of a bigger respect for them because of what they've been through in their life.
And then last, we now have on our website clovishighfootball.com. You'll have to do www.clovishighfootball.com. We have a calendar now, so parents, players, if you're wondering what's going on in the program from here till May, June, and the middle of July into July, you have all of those dates on there. So we don't have them in front of us, but can you just kind of go off the top of your head
Yeah,
what we got going on?
so right now all football activities are suspended, and I'm not going to air all our dirty laundry out there, but we are definitely athlete students right now. We need to become student athletes, so we're going to hold spring football as of this moment in the classroom. When things pick back up, the goal is to start spring practice, and then transition into a spring game. So obviously, spring practice will be held Monday, Wednesday, Friday of the week of the week prior to Hume Lake, and that's all tentatively. If our young men do a great job of making the adjustment I've asked them to adjust on their academics and get all their missing assignments in, then we will open football activities up and back into working, and then we are going to transition into, after Hume Lake, into a couple more spring practices, which will be from 3 practices from 4 to 6, but we have film and install prior to, and then June 2nd is our spring game. And spring game is just it's just a practice, but we would like the community to come out and just support and see the guys and see them run around and move around.
And those times and everything are on the calendar on the website. And is that going to be on the practice field?
Yeah, that'll be on the practice field.
Okay. And then after that, that's when Combine starts, right?
Cougar Combine,
Yes.
first week of June, or not first week of June. It's that next following Monday after school's done. We get going Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., and we are prepping for the season. That is the build-up to get our bodies in position to complete a season of the grinder.
Yeah, expect to have your kids here, 7 a.m. till 10. And then that's Monday through Thursday, and then on every Thursday it's what is the event that you have later on?
Yeah, Thursday at 6 p.m. We will do just kind of a joint practice, a joint throw around with another school, and we're just gonna it's a very controlled way, instead of doing all these crazy radical 7-on-7 camps where there's no technique work and there's no situational football. We control it as a coach, and we practice together. So it'll be good for the kids, and it's just an extra way to get real football taught.
And then for the parents, that are scheduling vacations, July 1st through the 14th is our dead period. So,
mandatory dead period, 14 straight. They have no football responsibility. But I will say this: if you are a parent, please, during those 14 days, do not let them sit down and sit around on the couch for 14 days straight. They will get crushed the next week.
Yeah, that's 14 days of no sports or football, but definitely, go ride a bike, go run around, go to the gym, go toss a football with a friend. Like, yes. you want to stay in shape as much as possible.
Yeah, that 14 days is not a 14. It is a dead period from football, but not from exercise.
No. And then what is going on after that 14 days?
We get into our mini camp, and then July 25th we start fall camp, and then it's football.
Yep.
And football, and then our 3 favorite words in June is, quote, I have football. Right. I have football. So
what are you doing? I have football.
I have football.
You want to hang out? I got football.
That's right. And be there. Be where you're supposed to be. Be there all the time. Let's do it. And let's do it with excellence. So.
Yep. And then our the first game is our blue and gold, and I think that's August 8th, if I'm correct. Is
one
it
of
August?
those days. It should be up. It'll be up on the website.
Yeah, so that's
Tyler's got a nice something coming for the schedule coming out. So everybody stay tuned for that as well.
We're waiting for all the new unis, and that's all coming in. We got we could talk about that. We got fresh gear for the bottom levels now.
Yeah, we do. We shout out to BSN Sports, my man Darren, and we got brand new uniforms for every level at Clovis High.
They've been having the same jerseys since I was there, and the same jerseys before that as well. So we're finally getting a fresh start and a fresh look at it all.
Yeah, uniformity's big, and we refuse to be raggedy. Is my deal. We're gonna refuse to be raggedy.
Yeah. So that's a great touch. We got goodness, we got so much gear coming in right now. But before we end this podcast, I do want to touch on it real quick. You coached at Liberty a fellow player just got drafted in the 3rd round. Do you have any experience with him? I know Coach
Yeah,
Joe said a little
he
bit.
was actually on our first recruiting class with Coach Freeze. We played against him as well when I was at Liberty, and he was the quarterback at Auburn when we went up there and played against those guys. And and being tied into that university so well, and just hearing from the guys just about that guy Malik Willis, and like we talked about, like great person, great player, it all correlates, and that's him. Plays with joy, plays just with a lot of, brings everybody up around him. And, it's not a surprise. It's hard to get drafted. It's darn hard to get drafted that high. And I know there's a lot of expectations out there for him. And, I believe he got himself in the best situation, because you look at NFL quarterbacks, and sometimes, hopping in right away is not always the best situation for a QB to go through. So I think he's in a great situation, and I think he'll do a great job. He takes his life and his job very serious, and he'll be prepared.
Players like that, that make it to the NFL or even become team leaders, and then you got team leaders that are made throughout the high school teams. What has them, stand out compared to just your average player that just shows up and plays football and then goes home?
Yeah, I don't think people understand that there is a reason why those players are so great. First in, last out. Always has been that way. And, a lot of kids, there's a lot of players that can get by just on talent alone, but in the NFL, the talent is not an equalizer, right? They're all talented. It's the mind and it's the work habits. So, yeah, first guy in, last guy out. And the best attitude, right? Nobody wants to coach, and nobody wants to be around a person that's an energy vampire, and that just brings everybody around him down. So I think he'll have longevity. I really do. People gravitate towards him. He's prepared. He'll have longevity in the NFL, in my humble opinion. And he's not the only one I've ever been around. So, and most all the NFL guys I've been around are the same guys. First one in, last one out. And they honestly work so hard at their craft, because I think most of those guys were not the most talented guys. And this is the truth. The most talented players in the world are not in the NFL. Most of those guys are the ones that always had a little chip on their shoulder because they weren't. And so then they just outworked, and that's what created their longevity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was always curious with that, and it's you went to Liberty, and he went to Liberty, so it's pretty crazy. But after this, we got with the students, they got a study hall right now.
Yep. Instead of spring practice, we're in study hall right now.
Yep. So they're getting all their stuff finalized, so we could have spring ball.
Yep.
And then after that, one more thing before we get off. Talk about how we're now having staff meetings, how we haven't really there was never really that so much in the past, but now we're actually, as a coaching group and core, we're coming together, talking about schemes. I know you said that you want to have, more just talking to each other, meetings the closer we get to football. But what's so important about the student athletes being able to see the coaches getting together, and then they could maybe understand the coaches a little more?
Yeah, well, I think the reality is coaches on the same page, players will be on the same page. Coaches not on the same page, players won't be on the same page. And how you communicate with coaches is you meet with coaches, and me as a head coach, it's my job to get them all on the same page and communicate with clarity what the role is and what it is that I believe will help us prepare to be the best. So that's my job and that's my role. But yeah, that's going to be standard here at Clovis High. As long as we have a practice, we will meet as a whole entire staff. And I don't, some people complain about meetings, but the reality is that when you sit in this chair, and you're surrounding young men, especially in football, with coaches, and they're playing a sport with the amount of violence, and I just think it's important that we know what our coaches are coaching and teaching, and I know what they're coaching and teaching. They better be coaching and teaching exactly what I want them to coach and teach. So again, our staff is amazing. I truly love each and every one of them. I think they're a perfect fit. I've always communicated that. I know we'll find the right guys. And now we're just getting on the same page, and we're learning to speak the same language, so the kids have no cracks and they have no way to find a way out, because we're all on the same page all the time.
And I'd say I would say we pretty much have the coaching staff finalized at this point, right?
Yeah,
So
I would say we're there.
everyone that's asking questions, the staff is now here. So with
We
that
got
being,
some paperwork we got to finish up.
Uh-huh.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
There's a paperwork process, and once that's all finalized, we'll get it out to public so everybody knows who's doing what.
Yeah, because we'll have more stuff around the coaches. Who's going to be the new coaches? A little bit of movement in the coaching staff. But what would you tell the parents that are watching what they will or what you expect from the coaching staff? Compared to in the past, and what you want to see from them, and what the parents would expect from them.
Yeah, well, the number one thing is they're going to be very demanding. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm going to expect that my coaches are the most demanding in the Valley, but they won't be demeaning. I think people get too confused, just because a coach demands something of you does not mean it's demeaning. However, if our coaching staff gets demeaning on a kid, yeah, that's not a coach for me, and I've been pretty open and upfront about that with our coaches. I think the reality is that we're going to push them to the brink all the time. Because that's what a coach's job is, to make a kid realize what he can become, right? You treat a man as he is, and he will remain as he is, but you treat a man as he should be, and he'll become what he could be. That's going to be our mentality as a coaching staff. And then, surrounding the kids with coaches that want them to be better men. I think that's big. I could care less about the football stuff. Football is just a tool to teach life. We all know football. If anybody, and I've said this before, any parent can watch this podcast and say, I think I know more football than coaches. Come on, we'll get on the whiteboard and I'll explain all the football in the world. But I don't care about that. I care more about what you create that young man to be, and how hard that young man learns how to play, and the habits that young man has learned underneath you. And do you develop him, right? Because the tale of a great coach is not, can he make a great player? Right, the great players are great players. Can he develop players at every level, though, from 7th grade to 6th grade to wherever, from each spectrum, from bad to awful to good to great? Can he develop a player and make him better? So better is our standard as from a coaching perspective, and I just want, because great players can digress and bad players can progress, right? And we need every player progressing and becoming better.
And I think we're going to wrap it up. I think that's a great way to end. Last few updates. Hume Lake coming soon. Spring practice coming soon. And then the spring game after that. We'll pop the QR code right here. Definitely donate. Everything goes right back into the program. We appreciate it all. And for food-wise, we got plenty of peanut butter, but we'll take lots of bread because we're going through lots of that every single day, as well as, do we need jelly?
Nope. Bread.
Nope.
Bread is what we need.
Bread. Go to the store, buy loaves of bread, bring them to activities.
That or athletics. Wherever. We'll pick it up. We'll find you.
Yeah. But that should be it. Any last words? Any final words?
Go Cougs.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.